You can measure the size of an elephant. You can clock the speed of a cheetah, but you can't quantify the heart of a kings, queens, and in-betweens. Welcome to Dr. Boxing Talk. Stream starts now.
The champ is here! 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 The champ is here!
If I tell you I'm good, probably you will say I'm boasting. If I tell you I'm no good, you know one line.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Good, great, grand morning to y'all, wonderful, beautiful, awesome people. Y'all know what time it is. The doctor's in the house. Let's get right. And if you can't get right, you're gonna get left. You heard, man. Let's hit this roll call. You know what I'm talking about? For the one time, for the people, for the one time. For the one time, for the one time. We got big numero uno in the building. That's my boy Dub. Arizona in the house. We got Smoochie in the building. We got the Nutmeggers in the house. Connecticut Nutmeggers. I'm sleep. We got my boy Bodega Ty in the building. Big Jers. Put that camera on. Pause. Pause. Hey, yo.
What do you mean by that?
I'm gonna need you to find a better way to phrase that. Hold on now. Put that camera on for me. Hey, yo. Just doing the building, you know what I'm talking about? My guy. What's poppin', man? Go check out my boy Just Do, man. Dope streamer right there. One of the only streamers I watch, you know what I'm saying? Just Do. Ryan Frazier, Boxing Talk Up North. And Karma Serene when she blesses us with her presence on this platform we call YouTube. Talk to the chair because y'all talking trash about me being late, you know what I'm saying? So this is what happens when I'm late. You know what I'm saying? You just get the voice. You know what I'm talking about? Like I'm Charlie's Angels. Like I'm Charlie. You just get the voice. You feel me? But yeah, man. Before we get started, oh Lord, hold on. I ain't even fixed my filter, see? See? Y'all rushing me, man. See, y'all messing up the show. Hold on now. We know we gotta start off with our prayer though, for real. So please, if you do indulge, bow your heads. If you don't, no pressure. Just sit there, have a Coke and a smile, or it's early in the morning, have an orange juice, you know what I'm talking about, or a coffee, something. Just kick back. We're going to get right to it. Get right to it, man. Yes, sir, man. My boy Just Do fighting the good fight, man. Giving out good boxing content. Not saying you can't be opinionated. We're all opinionated to a certain degree, but when you out there manipulating information, you know what I'm saying? That's an injustice to the people. You know what I'm talking about? That's what you learn in journalism school. I never went to journalism school, but I can imagine they teach you about integrity. And a lot of people on this here platform ain't got it. You know, but that's how life is, you know. A lot of people ain't got integrity. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Just Do, man. I'll never twist the facts. You have opinions and facts. There's a difference. But let's get right to it, man. Please bow your heads and join me. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord, for this wonderful Monday, Lord. A lot of us are starting the work week off, Lord, but hopefully we stepped into this morning with a joyful spirit, with a happy demeanor, and a peaceful demeanor as well, Lord. And we can also look forward to not only the positive changes or the positive strides that we can make for our own lives and our own future, but also for those of our loved ones, our family, and even strangers and neighbors as well. Because part of being in a community is looking out for each other, and sometimes we forget that, Lord. And also we ask for blessings, and sometimes we also overlook our ability or our capacity to be a blessing for others, Lord. And when we utilize our blessings to be blessings in others' lives, that's when we maximize and optimize our blessing in itself. And it also permits, or not should say permits, but it also makes you more likely to bestow more blessings upon us, Lord, when we utilize the blessings that you give us right. You know, there's a lot of parables about that in the Bible, Lord. So we thank you. We look forward to having a good week, good Lord willing, and we pray for great health, wealth, health emotionally, health physically, financially, spiritually, and in any capacity, Lord, that we can have good favor. And Lord, we ask you for that, and we thank you for all the blessings that you have given us before. All the blessings that you are currently giving us and the ones that you will give us in the future. Thank you, Lord, in Jesus' name. Oh, also a special prayer to those that are sick. We hope that they recover in a quick fashion, in a well fashion, including Mama Doc, who's having some soreness in her knee, including Smoochie's grandmother, including Oscar's uncle, and Just Do's young son with the ear infection. In Jesus' name. Amen. We pray and hope for a smooth recovery. Amen. Amen. My boy Ty says, I'm at work, and the nurse from the other wing came up to me and yelled, "What happened to the meeting with Bob?" That's crazy. Bob is Bob's reputation precedes him, you know. That's crazy, man. But yeah, man. So y'all know we about to talk about Oscar and his foolery, you know. First off, you know what? Let's just watch this, man. I'm not even gonna talk about it, man. Let's just get right to it, man. We gonna talk about Oscar. Let's just jump right into it, man. We gonna talk about Oscar. We gonna let Oscar talk to you. Now, this was a long clapback Thursday, so we're not gonna watch the whole thing. I'm just gonna watch the important segment, which I think is the most applicable segment. So, oh, you didn't tell me, Smoochie. You did tell me that she was gonna prepare for a smooth transition. So, God bless you, Smoochie. My sincerest condolences. God bless you, Smoochie. I'm sorry to hear that, you know. But yeah, like you said, I'm glad that she's not suffering, and we pray that we will rendezvous in a much better place, you know. And yeah, you know, she may not be here in the physical, but she's always here in the spiritual. As long as you keep her memory alive, that's how we live on, you know. And so I'm sorry about that, Smoochie, and God bless you and your family, your mom, your dad, everybody, your siblings, everybody. My sincerest condolences. We gonna give this we gonna give the ceremonial 10 count for Smoochie's grandma Smoochie. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and bow our heads, please, or just be quiet. You know, give her the boxing tradition 10 count for Smoochie's grandma. And a bonus because we love you. Let's get right. Rest in peace, Grandma Smoochie. We will all rendezvous in a much better place when God thinks it's appropriate. And I know she had a smooth transition, so. No, you're welcome, Smoochie. No problem. Like I said, sorry about that. All right, for a little get back to the business, we're gonna let Oscar talk to you about his Clapback Thursday.
Boxing has been the most popular sport since the beginning of time.
There you go.
Lately, it's been Mayweather versus McGregor, who fought in the ring, not the octagon, because boxing is king. But we have to get our shit together. Fighters are not daring to be great, and we are stuck accepting mediocre fights.
Come on, man.
Look, being a fighter and now a promoter, knowing the ins and outs because I'm in it, I have to say it's the fighters who are killing the sport. People try to blame the promoters or the managers, the trainers. No, it's the fighters. I was one, and I can tell you that if my camp urged me to fight someone, and I wanted to fight somebody else, we were going to fight who I wanted to fight. The fighters today don't think they're getting paid enough, or they're scared of taking an L. For example, look, back in the day, Arturo Gotti and Mickey Ward weren't the most popular fighters and weren't getting paid the most. They're
Rest in peace, Arturo Gotti.
in their time, but we respect them today because they fought their hearts out and came back for another day. The UFC fighters, they get paid peanuts and they go out on their shields. They fight like motherfuckers. But in boxing, we know the outcome of the big fights these days before the fight even starts. Look at the Canelo fight. Edgar Berlanga went on a month-long victory celebration because he lasted 12 rounds. He fucking lost and acted like it was a good thing.
Get some help.
This is where we're at because it comes from the top. Look at the 90s. You had
So
Brian
he-
Tyson, Chavez, myself.
Found a way to blame Canelo.
Dad, we were warriors. We fought everyone. We created sexy mega fights that everyone looked forward to watching. We were.
So okay, that's it right here. But I want to go to this part right here, man.
It's your favorite time.
I want to show you this where he got to the sexy mega fights
I was
part.
one, and I can tell you that if my camp urged me, and
Look what he says, the sexy mega fights.
Sexy mega fights that everyone looked forward to watching. We were like the 90s supermodel with the beautiful legs and tight athletic bodies. We were like Kate Moss in the 2000s.
Yeah, that's where we're gonna stop it. So I want to just be very clear right now. You know what I'm saying? So first off, we gonna tackle this. I like that too. Ty called it Cap Back Thursdays. I like that, Cap Back Thursdays. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy Ty. Every time I say that, I got shout out my boy Ty because I like that. You know what I'm saying? He coined that in my opinion.
Yeah.
So he said, but Oscar, you cap it. Word on the streets, you're the actual duck in the mattress. Smoke fighters are already on board with Big Turk. You're the one holding things up. Fuck out here, freaky. Yeah, right. Exactly. He out here freaky, man. So look, freaky deaky boy. So look, check this out. So first off, I want to talk about where he compared himself to the 90 models. He was very descriptive when he compared him and other fighters to models of the 90s, particularly Kate Moss, whatever. But he talked about the nice legs, and if you watch the full thing, which we're not gonna watch, he talked about the booty and all that stuff. And it's like, Oscar, bro, gosh dang it, bro. Like, come on, Oscar, like, you don't know better yet?
You dumbass.
Like, you don't have no self-awareness. Aren't you the guy? Aren't you the bull? Ain't that right, Dub? Easy to block it. Aren't you the bull? Is this the bull that got caught in the lingerie?
Yeah.
Is this the bull that had the utensils where places the sun don't shine?
Yeah.
Is this the bull that was doing the Macarena and the thong?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing, bro? You got to be the last person to compare yourself to a woman, a supermodel woman at that. Talk about the nice legs, the long, silky legs, which is true as a heterosexual man. We like that. But I don't want to think about Oscar in that respect. Like, you're the same bull that had on the high heels.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. Like, what are you doing? You relapse it, Oscar. You better go to the rehab. You better, hey, rest in peace, Amy Winehouse, and say you gotta go to rehab. Oscar better say, yeah, because that's looking crazy, bro. You can't be talking about comparing no boxes. I'm just saying. It's not a good look, brother. It's not a good look, golden boy. You know what I'm saying? Look a little shiny, like you might want a golden shower. You feel me?
Yeah.
Hold on. Pause.
No, did he?
But look, so in the full video, he talks about Jake Paul and stuff like that, and he talks about being in all types of lingerie and stuff, comparing himself to models. As I eat this banana, you know what I'm saying? But I'm a grown ass man. Y'all ain't gonna trick me out of eating my fruits. You feel me? So I'm gonna eat this banana. Y'all ain't gonna trick me out of not eating a banana. Pause.
No, did he?
Hey yo, that's probably the wrong day to eat a banana and talk shit about Oscar, but you know what I'm talking about? So check this out. So, with that being said, let's break down the cat back shot to tie Thursdays, right? So, Oscar talks about UFC fighters getting peanuts. So who cares? What? Like, I hate when people make like these comparisons that literally don't make sense, right? So because two people do the same job or a similar job, because boxing is not mixed martial art, it's not MMA, but it's similar, right? UFC is combat sports. So because two people do similar jobs, they should get paid the same. And if they don't get paid the same, the one that gets paid more should reduce their pay to equal out the other person. No, that's not how it works. Prime example. They say that collegiate players, college players work. They say that the games are better, which I disagree. But they say the games are better, and they play harder and work harder and train harder than their professional counterpart, especially when it comes to college hoops and NBA, right? So should LeBron get paid nothing or just an NIL deals because Cooper Flag or whoever else is in college right now because they're getting paid a little bit? So they should get paid the same? No, it's different levels, bro. Like, and even if the MMA fighters are getting peanuts, I'm sure that if it was up to them, like Conor McGregor, they striving to get more lucrative deals. So just because somebody does something, especially in a different capacity, because MMA is not boxing, but just because it's a similar capacity or similar genre, doesn't mean that they should get compensated the same. And if they don't, doesn't mean that somebody else is spoiled and one person is not. One person is spoiled and the other person is doing the respectable thing. Like he brought up Mickey Ward and Arturo Gatti. If Mickey Ward and Arturo Gatti could have fought 3 times for the same amount of money that Oscar and Floyd fought for, they would have fought then too. And they may have fought harder. You never know. So I think that's the dumbest thing. Like UFC fighters, oh, they get paid peanuts. Well, then you get peanuts then. So why don't you pay yourself peanuts? I mean, he said it starts at the top. He brought up Canelo, right? Because he always brings up Canelo because apparently it's Canelo and Floyd's fault for the current state of boxing. You know what I'm saying? So let's compensate the promoters, which you said that the fighters are the bosses because they can pick who they fight. So then the promoters should get paid less, and I bet you can pay the fighters more. Then everybody's happy, except you, right? And you know, another thing that was hypocrisy to me that he said was, Oscar, yo, Manzamusa in the building. Oscar also said that the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul was scripted, which is cool. Okay, I mean, I don't think so. I mean, Mike Tyson's 58 years old. Jake Paul's 30 years his junior. He's 28, so you know, it's a guy in his physical prime. Whether he's great or not, he might be great in other realms. He's not great inside the confines of boxing, but you know, he's still a young man that goes through a boxing routine and regimen on a regular basis and trains with fighters like Jay Leon Love and former champions at cruiserweight like BJ Flores. I think he even trained with Shannon Briggs and others, you know. So he definitely might not be a boxer at a high level, can compete with guys in their prime as well. But a guy who's 58 years old, damn near geriatric, who just had an ulcer flare up while sitting around doing nothing, waiting for his flight in Miami, I think he probably beat that guy, you know. So, but it's just so funny that he says it's scripted because Mike Tyson, he's a fighter and he could tell that Mike Tyson was holding back. So I'll look at this up, and Oscar's 51, you know. So he's younger than Mike Tyson, and I'm older than Jake Paul. I beat the hell out of Oscar. And I could be wrong. But me in my mid-30s, bro. And Oscar in his low 50s. I'd beat the hell out of Oscar, bro. I'd like to see if he thinks it's scripted. And I'm not even trained in nothing. Jake Paul would probably beat the heck out of me because he probably more in shape. You know, not probably, he is more in shape, you know. But yeah, I just think that's funny that he thinks it's scripted because a guy that's 28 beat a guy that's 58. What are we talking about, bro? He even pointed out in the video himself that Mike Tyson, it's okay, everybody almost trips, but Mike Tyson almost tripped on his ring walk. He had a knee brace. Oscar got fake abs, bro. He got a fake knee. You got a fake ass. You got fake abs. Your girl got fake titties. You know what I'm saying? Everything fake, bro. Man, I'd beat the hell out of Oscar, man. You got to be better. So, but my point is that our age gap is smaller, and it's just different. Like, not saying all the time, but when you are your father time matters. You know what I'm saying? Just like Mother Nature matters, father time matters. So I don't think it was scripted, but it could have been. I mean, that wouldn't be the biggest shock in the world if Jake Paul, Mike Tyson was scripted. But when people say it's scripted, they make it seem like, oh, it's scripted, so Mike Tyson wouldn't beat him. No, stop it. Mike Tyson was not gonna beat that dude, bro. Like stop it, bro. Like, of course, if Mike Tyson landed a lucky punch and Jake Paul was like, here, hit me, or maybe if he was caught lollygagging or bull jiving like Tyson Fury was against Alexander Usyk, and he gets caught in the 9th round. First of all, Mike Tyson wouldn't make it to the 9th round because we seen him retire in the 6th against Kevin McBride 20 years ago in 2004. 20 years in the future, after he was getting so tired, he retired on the stool. You're not going to gain more stamina. You're not going to gain more endurance. You're not going to gain more gas in the tank when it comes to lasting longer, unless you want a pill. Pause. You know what pill I'm talking about.
No, did it?
Hey, yo. So, like, you just not going to last longer naturally, so it doesn't make any sense. Like, it doesn't make any sense for people to imply that even if it was scripted, it doesn't change the outcome. Jake Paul still wins. So, like, I just think that's silly. But even though Oscar De La Hoya has said that Jake Paul and Mike Tyson was scripted, you know, and he's bad for boxing, he's ruining boxing. Well, in my opinion, if Jake Paul's ruining boxing, Oscar De La Hoya is killing it. But I'm gonna tell you what the hypocritical part is, right? The hypocrisy is that Oscar De La Hoya and others, not just Oscar De La Hoya, but Oscar De La Hoya and others like Tony Bellew, like Carl Crotch, like so many countless others, right? They're saying how bad Jake Paul is for fighting. But you know what Oscar De La Hoya did? I'll show you. What does this say right here? Oscar De La Hoya suggests major unified world champion as next Jake Paul opponent. Now I have a question for y'all. Who is unified that's Oscar De La Hoya's fighter, chat? We know it's not the minimum weight Oscar Collazo. We know it's not straw weight 105 minimum weight Oscar Collazo, who just got unified against Thamanu Niamtrong or knockout CP Freshmart. We know it's not him. Who's his other unified champion, chat? About the same size as Jake Paul. Oh, that would be Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, who just was unified after beating Chris Billion Smith. So the guy that's saying that Jake Paul is killing boxing, he is advocating for Zurdo, his fighter, to fight Jake Paul. Jake, if you want to fight Zurdo right now, let's do it, and he will knock you out. Oh, so it makes it seem like the guy that's mad at Jake Paul and accusing him of ruining boxing is not really mad at Jake Paul for ruining boxing. He's mad that he's not involved in getting a piece of the pie. Right? We got to remember that Oscar De La Hoya is known for doing shitty things. You know what I'm saying? Now, I like Oscar De La Hoya because one thing he is right about. No, two things he's right about in his Clapback Thursdays. Oscar De La Hoya definitely fought anybody. When he fought Felix Trinidad, fought Bernard Hopkins, big salute. That's why I like Oscar. I will not let Oscar tarnish my image of him as a fighter with his shenanigans that he says as a promoter. Oscar De La Hoya was a beast. The Golden Boy was real, man. Shout out to Oscar De La Hoya. Number of respect. You know what I'm saying? One of the biggest stars in boxing in his time. He's right about two things. One, he fought anybody. That's a fact. And two, Edgar Berlanga full of shit for still celebrating. Edgar Berlanga is right here celebrating that loss to Canelo like he won.
Eso, sí. Tú vas a mamar el bicho. Tú vas a mamar
right about that, because I don't know why Edgar Berlanga is celebrating so hard. I mean, I know he got the pay, he got paid, he got the paper, but he wilding. But everything else that Oscar said was essentially cap. You know, and how will I prove it to you? I'm about to prove it to you now. You know, first off, he said that Jake Paul's ruining boxing. Well, if Jake Paul's ruining boxing with his one-time event, that's a circus, and he's not even fighting real boxers, I don't know why people think that's indicative of the state of boxing, because it's not. It's just a one-time circus event, like an all-star game in basketball. It's not something that we see all the time. Not even an all-star, a celebrity all-star game. That's not indicative or a testament to the game that we love to watch, games 1 through 82 in the regular season, in the championship game, in the playoffs, you know, in the NBA. So why do you think the all-star celebrity game is representative of which is what Jake Paul and Mike Tyson is? Why would you think that's a representative of boxing competition as a whole? If you don't even think the celebrity all-star game is representative of basketball, you know what I'm saying? So keep the same energy. If you look at it for that perspective, I think it will help us not be so mad at Jake Paul. That's number one. Number two, the hypocrisy that I just showed you. He says Jake Paul is ruining boxing, and what he's doing is bad for boxing. Yet he wants one of his fighters to work with Jake Paul and Gilberto Ramirez. Now, if you want to say that he was just being an altruistic, honest person, genuine person, then why would he suggest his own fighter? He should suggest any fighter. Like he should suggest like somebody that's like in the middle of the rankings at cruiserweight, not a champion. Because Jake Paul and the guy in the middle of the rankings, because he likes great fights, right? He likes great fights that aren't scripted. Why would he try to put Jake Paul against a number 12 ranked guy in the WBC or WBA? That way, it might be we might think it's competitive. We know Gilberto Ramirez versus Jake Paul is not competitive, but he wants that fight because it puts money in his pocket. It's an easy payday. I'm not mad at him, but that's hypocritical. You see what I'm saying? So that's two things. The third thing now, it's so funny that Oscar De La Hoya was talking about the fighters stopping the fights and being in the way of good fights. When's the last good fight a Golden Boy fighter has been in? That where he wasn't the overwhelming favorite on a main event or a star level. Vergil Ortiz shit the bed with Sergey Boachuk. A lot of people thought Vergil Ortiz was going to run through him, so that was an accident. And he won. A lot of people thought he lost, but he won that. So that was an accident. That wasn't planned because Sergey Boachuk wasn't an undefeated fighter. Not saying you have to be undefeated, but he wasn't undefeated. He lost to Brandon Adams. He's a good fighter. I think he's good, but his best win is probably Brian Mendoza. So that was an accident right there. Number two, I think ruining boxing will have one of your biggest fighters on PEDs.
We do not let people who are on the juice discuss real athletes. That's all.
That was a big fight, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, and it was tainted because your fighter was on PEDs, right? Now, Zepeda, for whatever reason, I don't think Zepeda's on PEDs, but it does look suspicious. If I'm Tevin Farmer, I'm suspicious because he didn't take the test, right? Why wouldn't you take the test before the fight? If you're a clean fighter, you should want to take it. I think he's clean, like I said, but I don't get why. It just leaves room for question. Number four, Zepeda and Shakur are supposed to happen. That's a big fight. Not only did Zepeda and Shakur quote unquote agree. Well, Zepeda called out Shakur multiple times. I showed y'all yesterday after the Maxie Hughes fight, after the Giovanni Cabrera fight, and he said he'll fight him again in casual talk, right? And on Twitter, Shakur finally obliged. Who stepped in the middle of that? Oscar. You know why? When you know how? Oscar gave Shakur an ultimatum saying that you only get to fight Zepeda if you sign with Golden Boy. Excuse me, Shakur's a champion. How are you giving the champion an ultimatum to fight the mandatory? Isn't it the other way around? Doesn't the champion give the mandatory the ultimatum? He said that the only way Shakur will fight Zepeda is if he signs the Golden Boy. Obviously, Shakur did not sign the Golden Boy. He's with Matchroom, but he's working with Big Turk. Big Turk said he wants Zepeda and Shakur. Oscar shook Big Turk's hand in regards to Zepeda and Shakur. Eddie Hearn said he'll do Zepeda and Shakur. Shakur said he wants Zepeda and Shakur. Who stopped it? The fighter. But not the fighter as in the fighter, active fighter, as in the retired fighter, Oscar De La Hoya, who's now a promoter. He stopped it. So don't be surprised if we get Boots and Vergil Ortiz, who's supposed to be happening in February 22nd on the Riyadh season card. Don't be surprised if that doesn't happen either, because Vergil Ortiz can't make weight, or he has to pull out. He has a phantom injury or something like that stops the fight. Because I've never seen Vergil Ortiz so adamant about fighting anybody. Until I've been hearing him talk about Boots in this like he's just free money, because he didn't beat Karen Chukadzian and as dominant as a fashion as we thought. But if you compare Jerron Boots Ennis in his last fight with Vergil Ortiz in his last fight, who had the better performance? Who had the more dominant performance? Vergil Ortiz and Sergey Boachuk was more entertaining because Vergil Ortiz got dropped twice. Jerron Boots Ennis dropped Karen. Karen never dropped Boots. It wasn't close. It wasn't as intriguing as we thought, because we thought that Boots was going to knock him out, because Bozy and him have been saying that. So that's kind of their fault, but it is what it is. Boxers talk how they talk. So don't confuse excitement with competitiveness. Boots and Karen was not competitive. Vergil Ortiz and Sergey Boachuk was so competitive that people thought it was controversial. And I believe wasn't a majority decision or split decision win, seeing Vergil Ortiz get dropped twice. So this whole notion that Vergil Ortiz had a better win or a better performance against Sergey Boachuk than Boots had over Karen, that's not true. That's completely not true. That's a lie. But once again, people just manipulating facts and cap back Thursdays to make it seem like people are just so easily confused. It's scary, bro. You could have a more exciting fight and not have a dominant performance. Like Oscar De La Hoya brought up Mickey Ward and Arturo Gatti. Why do you think they fought 3 times? Because every fight was competitive and exciting. It wasn't that one had a dominant performance over the other, or else it wouldn't be a rematch. The only reason why Boots had a rematch with Karen is because it was called by the IBF mandatory. He would have been stripped of his belt. But both fights against Karen were better than Vergil Ortiz fight against Serhiy Boachuk. Because once again, a lot of people thought Serhiy Boachuk won. No one thought Karen beat Boots either time. So which one was a worse performance? Well, I tell you which one was a more exciting fight, the Vergil Ortiz and Serhiy Boachuk, no question. I'd rather watch that 10 times. It was more entertaining, but it wasn't a more dominant performance by Vergil Ortiz. In fact, people thought he lost, and he touched the canvas twice. Not once, but twice. The only person that dropped the canvas to touch the canvas was Boots' opponent, not Boots. So which one was more dominant? Exactly. Nobody thought, none of the judges thought that Boots lost. Let me look it up right now and make sure I'm not capping. I believe Vergil Ortiz was a split decision victory in favor of Vergil Ortiz. It was a majority decision. So he couldn't even convince all 3 judges that he won. Come on now. Come on now. My guy Oscar in the building. What's good, brethren? So I just think that's funny. So like Vergil Ortiz and Oscar De La Hoya, people are acting like he had a better performance in his last fight. No, he had a more exciting and more entertaining performance. You didn't have a better performance. You clearly had a worse performance. Let's be real. But I like Vergil Ortiz though. But I don't think Boots is gonna happen. Just like I told y'all, I did not think Shakur and Zepeda was gonna happen. I don't know if Boots and Shakur will happen. I would say I don't trust it. I don't trust it. I don't think it will happen. But that's enough pressure on Oscar De La Hoya. I want to talk about the other promoter, Eddie Hearn. He's not in the clear either. So Eddie Hearn, they want Boots to move up. And I don't mind Boots moving up. I would like to see Vergil Ortiz and Jerron Boots in. So I think that's a great fight. However, I personally believe that, me, I always said that I think Boots has the goods, but he lacks the opposition. I don't know how good he is because the people that he's beating, I'm sorry, they're just not as impressive. Karen Chukagian is a good fighter. I can see he's a good fighter, but he doesn't have the name. He doesn't have the renown. So I don't know how good he is either. He's never been a champion. However, a way for him to further convince us and be more convincing of his pound for pound or deserving of his pound for pound status would be to unify and get undisputed at 147. There's 3 other belt holders there to do so. So I would like for Boots to prioritize staying at 147 and at least unifying before moving up. And it seems like that's what he wants to do too. But Eddie, fast Eddie, boy, you know what I'm saying? Earn with Hearn. He gonna swerve you, boy. You gonna learn. You know what I'm talking about? Because he definitely do some swerving. He in that thing like Baby Driver swerving that car. So he wants Boots to move up. Why do you think he wants Boots to move up? I will show you. I'll show you why he wants Boots to move up. Now, this is just a hypothesis, but shout out to my boy Ty. Me and my boy Ty been talking about this for a while. You know what I'm saying? This is just a hypothesis. I can't prove it, but you know what hypothesis is, right? It's better than an assumption because an assumption, that means you think you know. It's better than a guess because when a guess, you just reaching. But a hypothesis is an educated guess. So the reason why this is an educated guess because all of the past history of Eddie Hearn will lead me to believe that this was true. That doesn't make it true. It's still a guess nonetheless, but it's an educated one. Don't disrespect me. You know what I'm talking about? That's a doctor on your ass. So check this out, man. Conor Benn, surprisingly, just popped up out of nowhere, out the blue, and he's ranked number 4. Conor Benn is side with who? That would be Matchroom. And he's ranked number 4 with who? That would be the IBF. And who has the belt in the IBF? That would be Jerron Boots. And did you see how all these things are lining up? You getting it lined up like you getting a fade at the barbershop, boy. You go ahead and put the little part in your head and everything. You know what I'm talking about? And put the initials in the back too. I'm talking about everything is lining up, bro. So what do you think Boots? What do you think will look good for Eddie Hearn and Matchroom? Do you think Boots versus Conor Benn would be good for Matchroom? No, because Boots will beat the hell out of Conor Benn. He gonna need some eggs, some meat, and some more shit. You know what I'm talking about? You're gonna need all the PDs in the world. I don't think that'll make him beat Jerron Boots Ennis. But you know what would be good for Eddie Hearn? If Jerron Boots Ennis moved up, and not only in the IBF, but he fought this guy right here. Where is he at? This guy right here, Israel Madrimov. If Israel Madrimov beats Serhiy Boachuk, the same Israel Madrimov that Eddie Hearn was convinced was going to beat Terrence Crawford, if Jerron Boots Ennis moves up, beats Vergil Ortiz, where's Vergil Ortiz at? Beats Vergil Ortiz in February, and Israel Madrimov beats Serhiy Boachuk in December, wouldn't that be a big showdown between Israel Madrimov and Jerron Boots Ennis at 154, all Matchroom affair? That's a win-win for Eddie, especially if Israel Madrimov wins, because you know he likes his Europeans. There's nothing wrong with that, but we just saying what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm not knocking it. You like what you like. You see what I'm saying? Hey, where Madrimov is from is a whole lot closer to England than the gosh dang U.S. I'll tell you that. Them trips may be good to Philly, but it may not be that good. You know what I'm saying? Now, if that didn't convince you, I want to give you another example, right? Let's go over here, man. Let's go over here, man. I'm gonna give you another example. Because if that didn't work, I could see you. I could see you still doubting, man. So I could still. I'm just joking, man. I don't know if you. I got to catch up with the messages. I want. He said, but I can prove it. It don't get pulling the camera and delete these DMs and texts. I don't got to pull the camera. And he been on fraud watch with the brothers. Exactly, Ty. Exactly. So look. Let's go down to 135. Who's a champion right here? Oh, Shakur Stevenson. Oh wow, that's crazy. Shakur Stevenson's at 135. What about if Shakur Stevenson and Williams Zepeda don't work out? Huh. I wonder what could happen. Oh, you know that guy Joe Cordina? Who just moved up to 135 convincingly? Oh, remember Shakur and him were supposed to fight for an all matchroom affair? What if Shakur Stevenson moves up to 140? And he fights a guy named Liam Paro if Liam Paro beats Richardson Hitchens. Oh, by the way, Richardson Hitchens with Matchroom. Liam Paro's with Matchroom. That's a whole lot of smoke up there for Shakur Stevenson to fight Liam Paro or Richardson Hitchens. All Matchroom affair. Big fight. And then Joe Cordina would have a much easier time managing Raymond Muratalla, Edwin De Los Santos. Andy Cruz is with Bosley Ennis, so you might as well say, you know what I'm talking about, that, you know what I'm saying, there goes Andy Cruz right there. That's also Matchroom. So there'll be a lot easier. It'll be easier for Joe Cordina or Andy Cruz to fight Zepeda, Muratalla, Keyshawn, to any of these guys than it is for them to fight Shakur Stevenson. It's a win-win. This man, Eddie Hearn, he's not innocent either. But I will say this, the thing that I will say about Eddie Hearn, what's in his favor over over Oscar De La Hoya is that no disrespect to Eddie Hearn. I mean, no disrespect to Oscar. Well, all disrespect to Oscar. Let me rephrase that. Oscar's not in big fights. You know what I'm saying? Zerto and Chris Williams Smith was a good fight because that was a unification. I got to give him love for that. But as far as Eddie Hearn, saying like Eddie Hearn has been in good fights. He's been in the 5v5. You know, so we just had Bivol versus Beterbiev. Whether he came on the loser end or whatever. We just had Anthony Joshua and Dubois. That was a good fight. That wasn't scripted. So I don't know what Oscar's talking about. Oscar's reflecting. He's doing some self-reflecting when he's talking about fighters not being in good fights. What are you talking about? This year has been great for boxing as far as good fights. There hasn't been great for boxing as far as Golden Boy's concerned with the good fights. But as far as, and mostly looking at Zepeda, who fought Tevin Farmer, Maxie Hughes, and Giovanni Cabrera. You know what I'm saying? He's a mandatory in all four sanctioned bodies. Did fight Nan champion. So outside of that, Anthony Joshua Dubois was a great fight. Dubois was an underdog and he won. We picked Dubois over Anthony Joshua. A lot of people didn't, including Oscar De La Hoya. They thought Anthony Joshua would win. That was a great fight. Bakram Murtazali and Tim Tszyu. That was a great fight on behalf of PBC. A lot of people picked Tim Tszyu. I picked Tim Tszyu, but I thought Tim Tszyu was going to win by unanimous decision, not slaughter like everybody else thought they did. Thought he was. I thought there was going to be a unanimous decision, a close fight against that Tim Tszyu would pull away late against Bakram. Bakram came in to slaughter him. That's an underdog win. So that definitely can't be scripted, right? You know who's scripting it for an underdog? The 5v5, all those fights are good. Matter of fact, Dubois, again, we ain't even got straight too far from Dubois. It was Dubois versus Hrgovic, a matchroom fighter, and Dubois won. He was an underdog. So, I don't know, Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk, 50-50 fight. Both undefeated heavyweights for the first ever undisputed champion for the first undisputed champion in the last quarter century. 25 years we ain't seen an undisputed champion since Lennox the Lion Lewis. You know what I'm saying? The great Lennox Lewis. So what was scripted about that? That's a 50-50 fight. It's another good fight. So where even Israel Madrimov and Terrence Crawford, if you think about the circumstances, Israel Madrimov was an undefeated champion at 154. Terrence Crawford is a two-division undisputed boxing phenom, moving up to the highest division he's ever been to on his debut and fought a champion that was undefeated. That's a great fight. Rayo versus Isa Pitbull Cruz, great fight. Jarrell Big Baby Miller versus Andy Ruiz, great fight. All on the same card. What boxing are you watching? Just because your people aren't involved in great 50-50 fights and could go either way and good matchups don't mean that's indicative of the entire landscape of boxing. It's just not true. PBC's about to drop David Morrell and David Benavidez for no gosh dang reason besides to make the fans happy. What are you doing? What are you doing? So, like, yeah, so don't let people confuse you, man, when they talk about, oh, it's the fighters. No, it's the promoters mostly. Yo, we got Jeffrey Vidal in the building. He said Eddie was with Katie Taylor. Eddie and Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. Another one, man, for a rematch. Another good fight. Matthew has one of the deepest stables in the game. Talk to him. Oscar in the building, my brother. We got Ryan in the building, my guy. Boxing talk up north, man. Big boxing up north. You know what I'm saying? Salute to you too, brother. Salutations. Oscar's two biggest money makers are not working with him at the moment. Munguia work with it. I ain't even talk about that, Ryan. Let's talk about the hypocrisy in that. Jaime Munguia done went to Top Rank. He does skedaddle. He might come back now. He might double back, spin the block, come back to Oscar. But he gone. So when you talk about Oscar, if you're Oscar, like I said, I like Oscar as a fighter, and I would not let him tarnish my affinity and my fondness of him as a active fighter. But as a promoter, he's shitty, man. Like, he's shitty for boxing. If Jake Paul is ruining boxing, Oscar De La Hoya is killing boxing with the lack of fights that he's making. Especially he's so hard on Canelo because he's still bitter. He's like a woman scorned when it comes to Canelo. Canelo left Oscar and said that he wished he would have started off with PBC, the same PBC that everybody likes to shit on, and for whatever reason, I never heard a fighter say anything bad about. Well, I've heard a couple, but when it comes to inactivity, but I haven't heard much. David Morrell, David Benavidez, always loved PBC. Pitbull, Tank, Canelo, all of them that are with PBC. They like Caleb Plant, which I think is crazy because I think they should be more active, but that's not their business model. Their business model is to put on a few events that are big events per year, annually, and Matchroom and Top Rank in them. Their business model is to put on a lot of fights, even if they're little cards. Like Matchroom had Rhiannon Dixon versus Terry Harper when Terry Harper beat Rhiannon Dixon, man, one time for the ladies. That was a headliner. So they put on a lot of small cards. So I'm gonna be honest, I prefer the Matchroom and Top Rank business model as far as putting on a lot of fights. But hey, there's many ways to skin the cat. That works for them. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to question their intelligence when it comes to running their business. They've been doing a good job despite how many people try to denounce it and criticize it, whatever. But anyway, the point is that Oscar De La Hoya, he doesn't have Jaime Munguia. Oh, his other star, Ryan Garcia, he's suspended right now because of PED usage.
We do not let people who are on the juice discuss real athletes. That's all.
You know what I'm saying? So Canelo left him. That's why he's still mad. You know what I'm saying? He's not letting Zepeda and Shakur happen. Or unless you want to blame Zepeda, because when he talks about saying it's the fighters, he could either say one or two things. Either he's lying straight up because he's stopping it, or he's ousting his own fighter, and William Zepeda, saying that he's a coward and he doesn't want to fight Shakur. Because if you pay attention to boxing, we know that it's not Shakur's fault. It's not Eddie Hearn's fault. It's not Big Turk's fault. It's Oscar De La Hoya and Zepeda and Coach Panda. Whatever tandem of those three is one of their faults or all three of their faults. So either he's throwing Zepeda under the bus or he's flat out lying. Either way, neither is a good look. You know what I'm saying? So now we have Boots versus Vergil Ortiz that could potentially happen. Emphasis on potential. And we'll see if that really turns out. I'm going to be honest. I don't want it to happen. Because, like I said, I would prioritize Boots unifying at 147, which I think he can. At least unify. I'm not saying he has to get undisputed. But I think he should unify because, you know, what just boost. Look at Gilberto. Bro, look at my video. I know y'all don't, I pay attention to my analytics sometimes. I try not to, but I do. But my video with Zerto just went crazy. If I would have made a Gilberto Ramirez video 3 months ago, nobody would have looked at it. I mean, better than 100. You know what I'm saying? Big salute to the people that come to come to my channel. You know what I'm saying? Thank God first. And thank y'all too. But that's one of my most viewed videos in a little while. Well, not in a little while, but you know what I'm saying? It's one of my most viewed videos because he just unified. He fought Chris Billiam Smith. No disrespect to Chris Billiam Smith, but nobody knows CBS. When you say CBS, we think about the broadcasting station. We don't think about Chris Billiam Smith, the fighter, the gentleman from England. We don't think about that. We think about CBS, so we watch that for the game. Basketball, you know what I'm talking about? CBS, NBC, NBA on NBC. TNT, you know what I'm talking about? No one thinks about the cruiserweight, you know, but Gilberto Ramirez, he unified, so it shot his stock up. Now people are comparing him with Jay Alpataya. Now it's not so clear that Jay Alpataya is the best. So if Jerome Boots Ennis unifies, that would drastically boost his profile and his marketing. You know, but Eddie Hearn, it'll be better for him to have multiple fighters in great positions, right? Like Conor Benn, who's popular for whatever reason, you know what I'm saying? Cracking eggs on his forehead, you know, he's popular. So what do you think is a better scenario for him to have Jerome Boots Ennis dominant in the division and Conor Benn be on the wayside, you know what I'm saying, not fighting him? Or would it be better for Jerome Boots Ennis to potentially dominate at 154? And if he falls flat on his face, guess what? He'll probably fall flat on his face to another fighter that he has at Israel Madrimov at 154. And then Conor Boots, his route to a championship just got that much easier. Because the people that are above Jerome Boots, Conor Benn, for a vacant title is Jin Sasaki. No disrespect. I like Jin Sasaki. I think Jin Sasaki might beat the hell out of Conor Ben if he ain't on the PEDs, if he ain't on that shit, you know. And then that's it. Because number 1 is Karen Chikadze, and he's gonna move down. He just lost to Boots. Number 2 is not rated, so that's vacant. And then Jin Sasaki and Conor Ben, they're fighting for a vacant belt that Boots just Boots just left unoccupied. You see? So I think for Eddie Hearn, it would behoove him for Shakur to move to 140 and fight George Kambosos. And he'll probably beat, and Shakur will probably do very good at 140. And then he has another division, or at least another more contention between Shakur, Richardson Hitchens, Liam Paro at 140, and then he have Joe Cordina at 135 with what's my guy's name? I just said his name at 135. I don't remember his name now. I just said his name, man. Joe Cordina, Andy Cruz. Like, come on, bro. You gotta think about this stuff as a business, man. So these people talk about the fighters, man. No, it's the promoters, bro. I don't believe it. Like I said, y'all know me. I'm pro athlete. I don't think any of these fighters are scared. Do I think all these fighters are more excited to fight as excited to fight each other as they should be? Maybe not. Do I think they're all walking around here like Errol Spence, who's willing to fight anybody, or David Benavidez, who's willing to fight everybody, or Jermaine Bad Intentions Taylor, who's willing to fight everybody? No, I'm not saying everybody got the nuts like that, cojones like that. But I'm saying that to say people are scared, man, boxers do this voluntarily, man. This is what they do, bro. They volunteer to fight. You know what I'm saying? From a lot of them from a young age. So I don't think, of course, you don't want to lose. It's a business, but what are we doing? Let me catch up some of the chat now. Oxley lost to Cash Cow and Canelo and now have beef with them. Yep. Golden Boy is a local promotion company. That's crazy. He advised Shakur not to use the WBC title to move up. He's not paying to fight. Exactly. A winner of Puello Martin. Right. Right. In this case, a paid at Vergil. Right. Now, this is on Freaky Oscar. Big Turk already got the desired numbers. Of course. Bro, nobody could think that this is Big Turk that's holding it up. And we could not like Big Turk, but we know he's trying to give us competitive fights. So we could say the truth, or we could say what's real, what's fake, and what's a lie. And depends on how you, regardless of how you feel a Big Turk. Big Turk's trying to get us good fights. Well, if Boots goes up, gets in the mix, he be in the division everybody's looking at. Yeah. But at the same time, that was my point, Oscar, with which that's a very good point. But my point, my counter to that, my rebuttal to that would be, cruiserweight is a shitty division. No one looks at cruiserweight, but my video did hot in this for cruiserweight because Gilberto Ramirez picked up a lot of steam and momentum after unifying. People do value unification. People are interested in fighters having multiple belts. So if you could do that at cruiserweight, imagine what Boots could do at welterweight, no matter how barren it is. CBS isn't a big star. CBS isn't a big star, right? Neither is Stanionis, neither is Stanionis, neither is Brian Norman Jr. But Chris Billion Smith is not a bigger star than any of those guys. So they're about the same, if not Stanionis and Brian Norman, and definitely Mario Barrios are more popular than CBS. If you could make a big headline event and raise your popularity and your profile from fighting Chris Billion Smith at cruiserweight, then I'm not certain, but I'm pretty damn sure that Jerron Boots Ennis could raise his stock significantly if he fought a unification with Brian Norman, Stanionis, especially Mario Barrios, who I think is the most decorated and the most popular out of the champions at welterweight. You know what I'm saying? So if you could do it, if you're Zerto at cruiserweight, you could do that if you're Boots at welterweight. So yeah, I don't think that I think that 154 is hot, but just because I don't think that Boots has to go to a hot division, regardless of who's crying for it, to be successful. Like, you could be successful where you're at. That's what Zerto's doing. You know what I'm saying? That's what so many fighters have done before, you know? So I think that I'm hoping that he doesn't get caught up in the hype. I'm hoping that he doesn't let Eddie Hearn trick him into moving to 154. That is a good fight. And if he moves up to 154 momentarily to fight Vergil Ortiz and moves back down, I'm cool with that. But no, I think you should stay on his path. And even if the fights are hard to make, I don't think Mario Barrios is unwilling to make the fight. I don't think Brian Norman is unwilling to make the fight. I don't think Stanionis, even though he has a fight with Shakram Giyashov, I don't think he's unwilling to make the fight. I just think that Eddie Hearn is unwilling to come out with that change, that greenery. Put more greenery in their scenery. I guarantee that they'll fight, because I don't think that they're scared. What's the even if, let's say, Brian Norman is scared of Boots. Okay, you telling me Stanionis is scared of Boots too? Okay, let's say they're both scared of Boots. Okay, you think Barrios is scared of Boots? So you tell me it's more likely that 3 champions, one champion been in there with Keith Thurman and Gervonta Tank Davis, and he already lost to them. You're telling me that 3 champions are scared of Boots? You think that's closer to the truth? Or what's closer to the truth is that all 3 of these champions who have came out and said that we have not been compensated appropriately, what we think is fair to have that fight, is it more closer to reality that Boots' promoter is not offering enough money for them to consider taking the fight? That's what they all said, bro. They all said it differently, but they all said essentially the same thing. Stanionis said, for 2 years, you have not offered me a value that I would entertain. Mario Barrios says him and his trainer, Bob Santos, have come out and said, if we get the right compensation, we'll fight him. Brian Norman said, hey, man, he was more specific, which I don't know why he was. To me, he should tell people to mind their business and kick rocks, but he went into specifics. But even with his specifics, they still didn't get the price point that they wanted, regardless of how much you think he deserves or not, because I don't know since when people became other people's financial advisor, when you probably need to be your own financial advisor, or maybe go outsource that joint. You know what I'm talking about? So like, it's just funny how people always have an opinion and feel so passionate and talk with conviction in regards to somebody else's funds. Like I said, pocket watching is some whole shit. That's number one.
Don't speak on how they pay you, because pocket watching us men shouldn't do, and that's just by nature. But thank you.
If you're a grown man pocket watching, that means either you are the lady of a brother. You may not be a hoe, but that's very hoe-ish. Or you want a sugar daddy. I don't see why else you would pay attention to somebody's money. This is boxing, not financial advice. I think they know what they're doing. Last time I checked, his son's a champion. Like Oscar said, Av, yeah, yes sir, Shark City Av, you know about that, dub. Pocket watching is something mentioned and doing. That's just by nature. Meaning, if you pocket watching as a dude, you going against the grain of your nature. How you do that, Jose? How you do that? How you go against your nature as a man, bro? So Zepeda just dropped a message. He's in a sling. Oh, he looks so sad. Oh, him looks so sad and bruck up. Him looks so sad. Oh, look at this, chat. Let's read this together, chat. Oh, him looks so sad in a little sling. Statement from Zepeda on the injury which will prevent him from fighting Shakur on February 22nd. Just like the baby prevented him from fighting Shakur on November. But he fought Tevin Farmer. Oh, okay. I just want to put that out there, you know. He had another reason why he didn't fight Shakur. It was a baby. And now he's babying his arm. It's his baby arm. Before it was his baby. That was his baby arm. Okay. William Zepeda. After our last match, we left with an injury to our left hand. This week we were... Wait, what? Well, that could be a mistake, but I could have sworn the guy of Golden Boy President, I can't remember his name right now off the top of my head. I could have sworn he said it was his right hand. But it's okay. That's a simple mistake. This week we were preparing to return to the gym soon. Hold on, I gotta play this, bro. Hold on, bro. I can't help it, bro. He said this week we were preparing to return to the gym soon. Bullshit! Okay, let's get back to regular schedule program. I had to play that real quick. Bullshit! Oh, I had to play it one more time. Okay, I'm for real this time. Let's go. All right. So he said, after our last match, we left with an injury to our left hand. This week, we were preparing to return to the gym soon. But for medical evaluation, they recommended 6 to 8 weeks rest for better recovery. And you should recover. You know what I'm saying? All jokes aside. For us, you see how I like that? You see, that's what y'all should do every time you watch one of my videos. Like it. You see how I just liked it because I'm reading it? Because I'm enjoying it, even if I don't believe it, even though I don't approve of it. Just because I don't like the message, don't mean I should hate on the creator or the person that's delivering the message. You ever heard the saying, don't shoot the messenger? So like if I drop a video and I talk about Jay Apataya, what Jay Apataya said, and you don't like Jay Apataya, don't mean you got to dislike the video. Or you can dislike the video and I'm going to keep going anyway. You can suck me. But let's keep it going. For us, it is important to have this small break to benefit our career. We know that this 2025 great opportunities are coming and we have to be 100%. Bitch, please. After this recovery period, we would like to return at the end of March. I hope we can respect the opportunity for CMB. Cash Money Billionaires, what the freak is CMB? I hope we can respect the opportunity for CMB. Cash Money Bitches. What is CMB? I don't know what CMB is. Duck facts. Whoever Sour Av Mel is, that's a fact. Big Duck. Yeah, exactly. Smoochie bitch. Bitch, please. This man said, after this recovery period, we would like to return at the end of March. You know what I feel about that? This whole entire post. You know what I think this post is?
Bullshit! Bullshit! Bullshit, 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 bullshit!
Come on, man. Zepeda, who you fooling, man? Your name is not El Camarón anymore. Your name is El Pato. Pato means duck. William El Pato Zepeda, man. Stop it, bro. Stop it, bro. Stop it, bro. I'm not going. WBC is, that's crazy. That's crazy. Oh, for real? Oscar, are you for real? Nah, you joking? Or you for what is he? Are you for real or are you joking, Oscar? I know Spanish, but I don't remember my letters. Damn, I hate the Spanish speakers. I'm not hating. Oh, call me back? Shut up. Hey, don't call me back. Y'all trolling me now. Is it really? Is CBM WBC? I ain't hating nobody in Spanish, man. You know I speak my Spanish, but I don't remember the letters. CMB is not coming back. Stop it, Smoochie. Consejo. Okay, yep, okay. Okay, de Boxio, CMB. Okay, thank you, Oscar. I appreciate it. See, you learn something new every day. So CMB is WBC. Okay. Consejo Mundial de Boxio. So Boxer World of, okay, Council. So Council World of Boxing. Yep, so World Boxing Council. Council World of Boxing. Yep. Consejo Mundial de, see, I know, see, once you break it down like that, I know it. Thank you, Oscar. Shout out to Oscar, man. That's my guy, man. Smoochie talking about, yes it is. I'm not saying that CMB is not call me back. I'm saying that's not what he was saying. Smoochie, get out of here, man. Shout out to my boy Oscar, man.
Yeah.
He said I wouldn't be surprised if Oscar did tell him to post it. Come on, come on, man. You know he told him. Facts time. Big Duck, El Pato. Come on, man. Come on, man. Like what are we doing, bro? Like shout out to y'all know I like Zepeda, bro, but I can't. I'm not going, bro. I can't go with this. I can't go with this, man. And I'm gonna be honest, man. To me, like I said this yesterday. I think Oscar wasn't here. I like Zepeda, man. He's an exciting fighter, and I told you I thought Zepeda would be a good matchup for Shakur. I still lean towards Shakur, of course, but I thought Zepeda would be a good matchup. And if you don't want to fight somebody, you don't want to fight somebody. I'm cool. But the reason why I'm so hard on Zepeda and I don't like it so much is because he called out Shakur multiple times. I showed y'all. He called him out during and after the Maxie Hughes fight. This is voluntarily. He did it willingly. He called him out after the Giovanni Cabrera fight. He called him out in between that. You know what I'm saying? Now you're not fighting him after the guy that you called out is obliging your call out. You know, that's weak, bro. That's weak, dog. That's weak, bro. If he just didn't want to fight him, yeah, he has a right. You know, he could fight any champion. He's number one. Well, he's not number one in IBF anymore, but he was number one. He could go whatever route he wants to take. It's like the video I made about Hamza Shiraz fighting Carlos Adames, as opposed to fighting the guy that everybody anticipated him to fight in Janabek because he's a WBO mandatory. Well, it's not Hamza Shiraz's fault or Frank Warren's fault, who's his promoter for Queensberry. It's not their fault that you assumed. You see, assume. ASSUME makes an ass out of UME, more so you when you assume, right? Which we don't do over here. I told you he could be fighting Carlos Adames because he's number one in the WBC as well. People just assume that he's going to fight Janabek because he was asked about Janabek the most and he fielded the question and responded in the capacity of an interviewee while he's being interviewed. He's not going to say, oh, I'm scared of Janabek. You know, Frank Warren himself said he will be fighting a champion. He didn't say which champion. People assume because he was number one in WBO, they'll be fighting Janabek because that's who they asked him about. So you're disappointed because you set up yourself for these expectations. You didn't pay attention and realize that he's a mandatory in WBC as well. There's nothing wrong with him exercising whichever mandatory he wants. That's the benefit of paying two sanctioned bodies and being ranked at the top in two sanctioned bodies. You have the privilege to pick which route you want to take. And for Frank Warren and Hamza Shiraz, I'm not saying Carlos Adames is an easy route or the easier route relative to Janabek, but apparently that's what Frank Warren, Queensberry, and Hamza Shiraz, they feel Carlos Adames is a path of least resistance relative to Janabek, and they're going to try to beat Carlos Adames and then potentially set up the harder fight, the more difficult fight, the bigger fight in the future, which makes sense. That's just business. You know what I'm saying? So if he beats Carlos Adames, then him being the champion makes him and Janabek for a unification fight even bigger than him just being a mandatory fighting Janabek. So it makes sense now. You know what I'm saying? So if Zepeda wasn't so hell bent on calling out Shakur, if he said I don't want to fight Shakur, I want to fight Tank, or I want to fight Lomachenko, I want to fight Barichek, I'm not gonna say nothing, because that's your privilege, that you have that opportunity. Take advantage of that. What's wrong with that? But the fact that he repeatedly, habitually, consistently, frequently called out Shakur, and when Shakur accepted, he reneged multiple times, 3 times, if I'm counting, 3 times, 3 or 4, maybe 4 times. Then that's weak, bro. That's weak. A duck walks into a bar and buys everyone around. He tells the bartender to put it on my bill. I'm asleep. His new name is William the Fake Over Whitaker. I'm asleep. I'm asleep. CMB is a steroids he's taking. That's crazy. Don't do him like that. That's one that I don't think that he's on steroids. However, it does look suspicious. Like I said, once again, this is why Golden Boy, I said Oscar and Golden Boy, if Jake Paul's ruining boxing, Golden Boy is killing boxing, because they're stopping the Zepeda Shakur fight from happening, which we were very much anticipating. That's a 50-50 fight. They lost Jaime Munguia, whether it's temporary or permanent, whatever, yet to be seen. He lost Canelo. You know what I'm saying? He one of his fighters in Ryan Garcia has a PED allegation. Another fighter in William Zepeda has another Sorry. No. Let me rephrase that. Ryan Garcia, one of his biggest fighters, got caught with PEDs. He definitely cheated.
We do not let people who are on the juice discuss real athletes. That's all.
Ryan Garcia was on PEDs. Another one of his fighters, William Zepeda, has allegations. Not that he's because they didn't administer a test. Why would they not administer the test is crazy to me. So I'm not, like I said, I don't think Zepeda cheated or is cheating. But if I'm Tevin Farmer, he should be concerned. If it's part of your contract, you were being tested before. They were running tests before. They were administering tests before, and now they just stopped and they didn't do it. I would be suspicious too. You know, so I don't think there's anything wrong with the suspicion, but I do think it's something wrong with jumping to conclusions just because they didn't provide a test does not necessarily mean that somebody was cheating. But I would be skeptical if I was him and suspicious. So it's just a plethora of things. Now Vergil Ortiz and Boots is supposed to happen. We'll see if that happens. I don't be surprised if that gets canceled too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, Oscar De La Hoya. Not to mention that his his situation with him and Sugar Shane Mosley. You know, so then he had the little rift with him and B-Hop for a little bit that they got over. So no, the Golden Boy is they definitely not looking good. And then you want to call Jake Paul say that he's ruining boxing, but then at the same time, in the same breath, you say that you want Jake Paul versus Zerto, which is your fighter. So is he really ruining boxing, or are you just mad that you didn't get a piece of the cut? So it's hypocrisy, no matter how you look at it, bro. It's hypocrisy. Anybody who's talking down and talking trash about Jake Paul and then calling him out, it's hypocrisy, bro. That's the literal definition of being hypocritical. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Tony Bellew is being hypocritical too, talking all this trash about Jake Paul, saying you want to fight him. You know what I'm saying? Coming out of retirement. You know, go back to the Creed movie, man. You know what I'm talking about? What's the name? Carl Crotch, who was a habitual hypocritical buffoon. You know, he called out Jake Paul too, while denouncing it and condemning it, but he called him out, say he wants to fight him, you know, in the same breath. Man, Carl Froch is the same guy that picked Anthony Joshua to beat Daniel Dubois and because of his trainer and how good he's looked in his last 4 fights. But then when Anthony Joshua loses, instead of saying, dang, I was wrong, he says that Anthony Joshua needs to retire and Ben Davis needs to stop training. All because he got he got a pick wrong, a prediction wrong. You're freaking goofy, bro. His egos are crazy, bro. You just made a wrong prediction, bro. That means that you need to be fired and you need to retire from being an analyst then, because your analysis sucks. Because you picked him over Dubois because he beat Jermaine Franklin, Robert Helenius, and Francis Ngannou. Stupid. That's why you picked him over Daniel Dubois. You mad at him? You know what I'm talking about? Stupid. Stupid. So who else is calling out Jake Paul? I'm not mad at Daniel Dubois. I never seen Daniel Dubois trash Jake Paul. So Daniel Dubois also called him out, but Daniel Dubois was also on the undercard of Jake Paul before. I can't remember where they fought at, but I want to say it was in Cleveland, something, I don't know. But so I'm not saying you can't call out Jake Paul. In fact, I think you should call out Jake Paul, because Jake Paul is, if you're a real boxer which Jake Paul is not. If you're a real boxer, then that'd be the easiest payday for you. Even Mike Tyson losing, that was still one of his easiest fights. I bet you if you ask Mike Tyson at 58 years old, he would say that was the easiest fight he's ever been involved in his boxing career. Because Jake Paul is just not a threat like that, So I don't see anything wrong with fighters calling. Now, I think there is something wrong if we confuse that with real boxing, But even the WBC president? He came out and said he wants to make Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. The same Jake Paul that's bad for boxing? Why all these boxers want to make boxers and promoters and executives want to make fights with him? Because that money talk and BS walk. You can say it's bad all you want, but keep calling them out though. Andre Ward called him out too, which I think Andre Ward, what's crazy? I think Andre Ward is the most genuine about calling out Jake Paul, because it could be, it's always for money, of course, involved, but he has other things going too. And I don't think that, I think he really was bad if Jake Paul knocked out Mike Tyson and he wants to get back in the ring, But I wouldn't be mad at Andre Ward versus Jake Paul. I also wouldn't be mad at Canelo versus Jake Paul. Well, let me rephrase that. If Canelo and Jake Paul happen right now, I'd be mad. Cinnamon got to do better. But I always said this. I think Jake Paul and Cinnamon is going to happen. It's just going to be Cinnamon's last fight, just like Conor McGregor was to Floyd Mayweather. That was his last fight. That was like his little victory tour. So I wouldn't be mad at that in that regard. But if Canelo just fights him and he doesn't fight, and he comes back and he fights like, I don't know, William Skull, then I'd be like, dang, that's kind of whack. But, if that's his last fight, or if he comes back and fights Dave Benavidez, I'm not mad. Shoot, Artur Beterbiev called out Jake Paul. I'm not mad at Artur calling out Jake Paul either. I'm not mad at Artur calling out Jake Paul, which I think that looked a little fake, because he was just talking like, I don't see Artur Beterbiev typing the stuff that was typed out and talking like that. But I mean, it wasn't crazy, but it just didn't seem like something Artur would say. So I'm a little questionable. I'm a little suspicious about that, like someone else on his account. But Artur called out Jake Paul. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at Daniel Dubois calling out Jake Paul. I'm not mad at Canelo if he fights Jake Paul from a standpoint. I'm not mad at Andre Ward from a standpoint of these guys, actually still being active in some capacity. Like, even though Andre Ward's not an active fighter, we just saw that Andre Ward was flirting with coming back before. Remember, I made a video about that, and he's still out there sparring with Andre Durrell, David Benavidez. Well, I don't know about David Benavidez. I know Andre Durrell and David Benavidez sparred, but Andre Ward sparring with Terrence Crawford and some other guys. So he's still active. He's not inactive. So I see it differently than a guy like Carl Crotch and Tony Bellew, who are just sitting on the couch not doing nothing, and shitting on Jake Paul any chance they get, or Oscar De La Hoya, and then calling him out to engage in a fight with him. Like, bro, that's hypocritical, man. If you think he's that trash, then why would you want to be involved in a spectacle with him, or an event with him, or an outing with him? Like, why would you want to be involved in that? It's trash for boxing, right? Because you're trash for boxing too. So that's just my opinion on that, man. Let's see. Carol Paul's crotch. Right, yeah, Carol Crotch, right. Carol, I like that, yeah, instead of Carl Crotch, yeah, Carol Crotch, yeah. Carol Crotch is not in facts, big nasty work. That's the date, but Golden Boy acting funny. That's that weird misogyny YouTube dude. Who? Now, Mike said that Robert Williams' fight was easier. He did. My guy Kent in the building. What's good, brother? My guy. Pro boxers calling out Jake want the payday. Payday. You know what I'm saying? They gonna get that bomb, boom, bomb.
Eso, sí. Tú vas a mamar el bicho. Tú vas a mamar el...
But see, that's the thing though, Kent. I don't mind the fighters. Like, I don't think we should be mad at that, bro. Like, boxing is a business, dog. Like that's what I said when Oscar said that stupid. I thought that was a turtle in the yard. But yeah, when Oscar said that nonsense about people getting paid less to fight, what does that mean? You're supposed to get better. Like, what's wrong with getting paid? You're not supposed to get compensated for your work? Like, what are we talking about? It's like, and that's not a knock. So I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind like Daniel Dubois. I mean, he's not going to do it. Jake Paul's not going to do it. He's not done, right? You can say whatever you want about him, but he's definitely a good businessman. I think he's proven that, right? Yeah, he's not going to fight them. But if anybody should call out Jake Paul, it should be active fighters. If anybody's going to call him out, you know what I'm saying? Daniel Dubois, Andre Ward, or Daniel Dubois, Artur Beterbiev, Even if Canelo accepts, people gonna talk trash, but people talk trash anyway. Look at what's the name still talking trash about him fighting Edgar Berlanga. But that's the thing, that's the smoke and mirrors, right? I didn't like Edgar as much as I like Canelo and Cinnamon. I didn't really, I wasn't intrigued by the Edgar Berlanga fight. I knew that was gonna happen. I knew what was gonna happen, you know. But I did think that Canelo was gonna knock him out clean. It went the distance. So from that regard, I picked the right winner. I just thought that the result was gonna be a different route to that result. I thought he was gonna knock him out and stop him. But Edgar Berlanga, we could say that was a bad fight, but Edgar Berlanga was number one. He was a number one. He was in the mandatory position in the WBA. So Oscar could talk that trash, but it's like when you don't know that, then you'll believe him. But when you know boxing a little bit, then you could be like, okay, well, Jerron Boots Ennis versus Karen wasn't good either, but we knew that was a mandatory. He was a number one. Anytime a guy fights a number one, by definition, that can't be a bad fight. Not on the champion's behalf. It can't be. You see what I'm saying? Now, are there fights that we would rather see Canelo fight? Yeah. Rather see him fight Dave Benavidez? Yeah. David Morrell? Yeah. Pacheco? Yeah. And Billy? Yeah. Over Berlanga? Even a Caleb Plant rematch? Yeah. Jamal Charlo, if he's active? Yeah. But that's, by definition, it can't be a bad fight. Anytime you fight somebody, in my opinion, this is just my opinion now. If you fight anybody in the top 10, it's not a bad fight, bro. Now, we want to say relative, you know what I'm saying, circumstantially, you know, then yeah, I can see why you'd be disappointed, but it's not a bad fight, bro. It can't be. And if it is a bad fight, then you blaming the wrong person. You blaming Cinnamon. Blame the WBA for ranking him that high. Don't blame Cinnamon. Since Zerto Dunn said he's satisfying his mandatory, does Zapataya Unifier fight Zerto Dex? Nah, Oscar, remember I told you Jai Zapataya is already fighting his mandatory. Yeah, he can't. So Noel McCallan can't fight. So that's the thing, you know, about boxing. That's a great question, by the way, Oscar. I'm glad you asked me that. So in the cruiserweight division, no one else can unify right now, because if you try to unify, you're gonna get stripped. Like you said, Zerto's satisfying his mandatory. I didn't see that, but if that's true, then if he doesn't satisfy his mandatory, he'll get stripped. So he literally can't unify, because if Noel McCallan tries to unify with Jai Bataya, then Jai Bataya fights Noel McCallan. Well, he'll be dropping the IBF and going for the WBC, because he's been ordered by the IBF to fight Hussein Sakara. He's fighting Hussein Sakara in January. He has to satisfy his mandatory. But the dummies out there will think that he's ducking Zerto. And when Zerto fights his mandatory, like you just said, the dummies out there will think he's ducking Jai Bataya. And Noel McCallan, he's supposed to be fighting Ryan Rozicki. He's been supposed to fight Ryan Rozicki. He ducked him at least 3 times. I think it's like 5 times, actually, it's been postponed. So Noel McCallan comes back and fights anybody, he'll be stripped. He has to fight his mandatory Ryan Rozicki. He's been the mandatory, the Canadian fighter, to the point where they said Noel McCallan's been declared a champion of recess, and now, or not champion of recess, yeah, I think they declared him champion of recess, and Ryan Rozicki will be fighting the number 3 guy for an interim belt, and then the winner of that, if Noel McCallan doesn't fight that winner, he'll get stripped, and the interim belt holder will be elevated. So yeah, they can't. I meant, after the mandatories. I don't know. I would like to see them fight, but I don't think so. I think that's well wishing, because who was Zerto with? Okay, now ask yourself who Zerto's with, Oscar. And I think that'll answer your question. Who is Zerto with? Yeah, I mean, I would like it, but I don't think Oscar will let him fight Jai Bataya, because once again, what is it doing? If Jai Bataya and Gilberto Ramirez are in the same boat as Jerron Boots Ennis and Vergil Ortiz, the same boat as Shakur and Zepeda, they're all Matchroom and Golden Boy. Jai Bataya versus Zerto, Matchroom, Golden Boy. Jerron Boots Ennis and Vergil Ortiz, Matchroom, Golden Boy. Shakur Stevenson, William Zepeda, Matchroom, Golden Boy. What Matchroom, Golden Boy fight have we had? I don't see why Zerto and Jai Bataya would be the exception. So it's crazy that they both work with Big Turk, and they're both on the zone, but they can't make a fight. But I thought being across the street was the issue, chat. You know, everybody blame, PBC doesn't want to work with other fighters, with other promotions. It's PBC fault, right? Okay. Even though they're on different broadcasts, and not the same promotional company. It seems like they getting fights done though. But it's been repeatedly Golden Boy and Matchroom ain't been working together, have they? Oh, okay. Or maybe I'm crazy, chat. Maybe I'm crazy. I'm a little bit crazy. Ain't that damn crazy. Facts, Kent. Kent says, I'm not mad either, Doc. Let them guys get the, let them guys, if they can, get a grab bag. Yep.
Yeah.
From it's a little disappointing being a fan of the sport. Yep.
Yeah.
But it's business at the end of the day. Talk to him, Kent.
Yeah.
Business at the end of the day. It is. No, I will double down on what you said. It's very disappointing if Canelo fights Jake Paul, but I understand. Like I said, if Canelo fight, like Canelo has 60 fights, man. I'm not giving an excuse. I know people go say, "Oh, you just like Canelo," but man has 60 fights, bro. Like I said, I think the last big fighter to have 60 fights is probably Vladimir Klitschko. I could think off the top of my head. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, somebody. But I think the last big fighter, like I'm talking about, not just last fighter period, but the last fighter with the big name that had 60 plus fights is Vladimir Klitschko. You know what I'm saying? Deontay Wilder's close. He has almost 50. He has 48 or 49. But yeah, so even he has a lot of fights. But my point is that Canelo fighting Jake Paul, like I said, if he wants to fight Jake Paul right off to the sunset, how can I knock him, bro? The man fought Triple G 3 times. Someone told me he lost twice. Bro, people be hating, bro. Someone told me on a comment, they said, oh, Canelo only beat a 40-year-old Triple G. He only beat him the last time. He lost the other 2 times. If you want to say he lost the first one, that was a draw, I'm cool with that. He did not lose the second one, bro. Stop it. Get some help. Stop it. Stop it. Anyway, people be in denial. But anyway, Canelo fought Triple G 3 times. He fought Floyd Mayweather, arguably the GOAT. I think he's a GOAT. He fought Dmitry Bivol light heavyweight. He fought Sergey Kovalev at light heavyweight and won. He fought Miguel Cotto. He fought Sugar Shane Mosley. You know, I say well, they're over the hill, okay. Whatever. You know, we're selective when we could. You know, Joe Calzaghe's best wins are Roy Jones Jr. and B-Hop, and they give him credit for that. Nobody Canelo never fought anybody in their 40s. I'm just saying. You know, we say Joe Calzaghe's the best, right? Because he beat Roy Jones Jr. He was 39 and a half, you know, and B-Hop, who was like 42 or 43, you know. But when we talk about Canelo, oh, he fought an old Triple G one. Nan, one of them 40. Sugar Shane was a 40. Miguel Cotto was a 40. Floyd was a 40. And the guy that he fought that was 40 in Triple G, it was the third time that he fought him. I'm just saying, bro, people are selective with their criteria and their stipulations that they set when they assess these fighters, bro. Just be consistent, bro. It's just all you ever hear is Canelo fights old guys. Sugar Shane was old. Miguel, not Nan, one of them was 40. If I go ask anybody on the street that knows Joe Calzaghe, they'll say, "Oh, why is he good? He's 46-0. Well, who'd he beat? Oh, he beat Roy Jones and B-Hop. Fuck out of here." But then again, we also giving people credit for being a 37-year-old 58 fight Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez. Ain't that right, Mansa? But Lomachenko's too old, right? 36 with 21 fights. I'm just saying. Can we please keep? I know it's difficult. I know it's tough, but don't worry, I'm here for you. You know, I know it's hard to be consistent. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you talk a lot. It's easy for me, you know. But you know, some people find it a little more difficult. You feel me? And I get it. I mean, I don't, but I don't get it. But hey, that old Triple G was a champion. I have to talk to him. Talk to him, Oscar. Talk to him, Oscar. It's crazy. It's crazy. Your Dennis Ugas made a name for himself after beating who? Pacquiao. Was Pacquiao young? That's probably the only reason why he lost, because he was older. You know, it's just funny how people. That's why I say when we have expectations of fighters, yes, it's good to have expectations of fighters because they're great, but don't make their greatness be a handicap for them. Like, don't hurt them because of their greatness. It's like it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like when, if LeBron has a stat line of I don't know, 20 points, 8 rebounds, and I don't know, 9 assists, almost a triple double. People be like, oh, okay, whatever, it wasn't a triple double. But let somebody that you're not as excited about do the same thing. You're not going to be excited, and that's human nature, because LeBron has done it before. Steph Curry's done it before. They do this before, but at the same time, don't I'm cool with you not being as impressed, but it should never be bad. Like, that stat line is not bad. Win or lose. It's not bad. So same with Canelo. Even if Canelo fought an old Miguel Cotto, a old Floyd, a old Sugar Shane Mosley, it's not bad if you're telling me that Joseph Parker's best win is Deontay Wilder, who's older than all of them. So if Joseph Parker's win over Deontay Wilder is good, there's no way Canelo's win over Sugar Shane Mosley and Miguel Cotto, who are younger, could be bad. It's completely nonsensical. Hypocritical. Come on, man. But people don't think like that, though. They just like to say stuff, whatever fly. It's like a bunch of children. You know what I'm saying? The only time it's acceptable for people to say things without thinking about it, without having a filter, without having any thought process, if you're one of two things. Either you're old and senile, or you're young and you're a child. If you're not neither one of those two, then think about what you're saying. Canelo fought Lar, yep. Undefeated, no doubt, Trout, facts. Jermell Charlo, I ain't gonna give no credit for Jermell Charlo, though. I ain't gonna lie. Danny Jacobs, yep. The Miracle Man. Amir Khan, yep. He got a decorated resume. I'll give Canelo, yeah, facts. I ain't giving him credit for fighting Jermell Charlo, though. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, but you're right. He was undisputed champion at 154, but he moved up 2 weight. They fought at 168. You know what I'm saying? So that was like a gimme fight. You know, no disrespect to Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo's a beast. I think he's a beast at 154. He ain't a beast at 168. You know what I'm saying? I'm young and senile. I'm telling you. Bro, we expect a lot from casuals after they destroy Arrow after losing to the #1 pound. Exactly. Now, if you're saying that Arrow should retire off of coming from a place of concern, that's one thing. But if you're trying to say, like you said, destroying, oh, he's trash, or he was overrated, like, you're crazy, bro. You don't know what you're talking about. Errol Spence was that dude, is still that dude. You know what I'm saying? Now, he's going to have a tough task. He has a tough and tall task in front of him, literally and figuratively, with the tall part, and Sebastian Fundora. But win or lose, he's still a great fighter. He beat so many great champions. Unified champion at that. Talk to him, Ty. Talk to him, bro. Talk to him. Triple G was a unified champion at that, man. Even though he beat Toyota Corolla, he was still a yeah, it's just crazy how we just, like I said, man, I think that there's nothing wrong with wanting more out of certain guys and girls. Like Clarissa Shields, you wanted to have more than 15 fights, but in those 15 fights, she did what she did. It is greatness. Same with, there's nothing wrong with wanting Shakur Stevenson more, but he's still a 3-division champion. We say that like it's nothing when it comes to certain fighters. I don't get it. But then other fighters who are 3-division champions, and we celebrate them like they're just so good. And they are so good because that's a hell of an accomplishment. But it's not a terrible accomplishment because we expect more of somebody who lived up to the expectations they have. So there's a lot of greatness. There's a lot of good fights and a lot of good accomplishments between being mediocre and great. You know, you could be good and there's nothing wrong with being good. George Kambosos is a good fighter. He's a champion. Undisputed, ain't it? Something like that, or close. You know? So he's not a bad fighter, bro. He has a decorated career. He might not like it relative to others, but he's still good, bro. I feel like it's disingenuous to say otherwise. I don't like Spence. I don't feel like Spence needs to retire for the above performance, but does need to recover from that embarrassing ass whooping. Yeah, but that's the thing. Like I said, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that he should retire if you're coming from a place of concern. Like same with Deontay Wilder. If you say that you think he should retire, well, his performances demonstrate that he's not the same. Errol Spence didn't look the same. Terrence Crawford looked great, you know, but Errol Spence also didn't look the same. You know what I'm saying? Not even in the build-up and stuff like that. Like. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But if people are saying, oh, he's trash and questioning his resume and what he's done, that's crazy. What you finna order, bro? I'm hungry too, bro. Finna order me some Chick-fil-A. Yes, sir, man. We are a year into the channel, chat. We are a year into the channel. I think a year was Saturday. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the people that's coming through supporting your boy. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Thank God, number one, first and foremost. Thank the Most High, you feel me? Thank God.
Yeah.
I appreciate everybody, man. We are at that year benchmark that the channel has been in existence, man. We had 2,100 subscribers, man. Hey, not too bad, you know. We 2,100. We going for 20,000 next. You feel me? Then we gonna go for 200,000, then 2 million, a million. You feel me? A million and trillion. You feel me? So, but yeah, man, long way to go, but I appreciate it, the start. But yeah, man, so I'm about to get me some food too, man. Bro, we expect a lot from casual. Yeah, so I will say this too. It's like Seniesa Estrada, you know what I'm saying? How many people does she not deserve to be considered in one of the top females, or if not the top females? I mean, Seniesa Estrada is a beast too, you know, but we focus on certain people. You know, there's nothing wrong with that, but, you know, one could argue that Seniesa Estrada could be considered up there too with Clarissa Shields and Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor and all of them. So, you know, it is what it is. I want ribs. Man, ribs sound good. Or some ramen from Ryaki. That sound good too. Ribs sound good. But yeah, man, so we have some fights this weekend, man. Wait, no. Oh, bro, I'm tripping. It's next week. Okay, this week's not bad either. On the 30th, right, we have Sonny Edwards versus Yafil Gafai. Yafil Gafai. Yafai Galal? Galal Yafai. Yafil Gafai? I always mess up his name, but you know what I'm talking about. And Callum Smith will be returning on that card. And then that's November 30th. And then next week is December 7th, Galore willing, where we have Liam Paul versus Richardson Hitchens in Puerto Rico. And we have Oscar Valdez, Emmanuel Navarrete versus Oscar Valdez on a doubleheader with Rafael Eldivino Espinosa versus Robisi Ramirez on Top Rank. So I was thinking that was this weekend, man. Freak, man. But it's okay, though. They still look some good fights. UFC 504, I'm telling you. Fedora, the youngest undisputed, she was an undercard fight on Kid Austin. Disrespectful. 1,000%. Gabriella Fedora should be celebrated more. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, she was the undercard, not even the co-main. Like, that's disrespectful to boxing. I agree with Oscar 1,000%, bro. She's undisputed, bro. Undisputed is the best. How can you trump that? I'm not saying that she couldn't have been the main event, but that main event had to be fire. No disrespect to Floyd Kid Austin Schofield. I like him. But him versus Renee Tellez-Garon should not be above Gabriella Fedora versus Gabrielle Alanis for undisputed at flyweight. And definitely Beck the Bully versus David Stevens. Is it Steven Davis or David Stevens? I can't remember. That should not be over Gabriella Fedora. She's the youngest undisputed champion in the 4-belt era ever, bro, male or female. You know what I'm saying? Move over Devin Haney. Devin Haney is still the youngest undisputed in the 4-belt era for males, but for overall men or women, Gabriella Fedora is now the youngest undisputed champion. She was like wasn't the main or the co-main, which is crazy. Ray Leonard won welterweight champion and captured the super middleweight championship. Why not Terrence? I don't know where that came from, but yeah, sure. Kid Austin struggled so badly, and what was he supposed to be a breezy fight? Yeah, I don't know though. I don't know. I don't want to say. I don't want to say that. That's the thing. I agree with you, Smoochie, because we didn't know Renee Tellez. But it's like Abdullah Mason, right? Now, granted, Floyd Kid Austin Schofield is considered, because he's ranked higher, we consider him above Abdullah Mason, right? So expectations should and should be higher. But they have about the same amount of fights now, and Abdullah Mason got dropped twice by Johan Vasquez. I'm more familiar with Johan Vasquez than I am with Renee Tellez-Garon. So it's a little more understandable from my perspective, but I don't want to knock Kid Austin for struggling because he did still win. However, I agree with you. I thought that he was going to breeze through him. But it is boxing. That's why we love it. Ain't nobody coming to lay down. I ain't going to say ain't nobody, but most people ain't coming to lay down. So I do agree with you, but at the same time, I also want to mention that Garon was fighting in there, man. He was fighting. He was fighting now. So I gotta give it to, you know, and Kid Austin's still a young dude too. But yeah, he definitely I was definitely surprised at how much he struggled. I agree. I said I'm ordering food and here come all the big bags lined up at my nurse's. Yeah, yo. Yeah, so yeah, man, I think that yeah, man, I don't know, man. I think that there's but I will say, yeah, the Gabriella Fedora should definitely have been, in my opinion. If it was a Matchroom, if Gabriella Fedora was on Matchroom, that would have been a headline, for sure. If Gabriella Fedora was on, even Top Rank would have been a headline, probably. Because, like I said, Sandy Ryan and Michaela Mayer was a headline in New York with Shushu Carrington and Xander Zayas as an undercard. Even, what was the other fight that they had that was Top Rank? That was the main event. That was women. I can't remember. Sandy Ryan, Michaela Mayer. There was another one recently too. Of course, he said Terry Harper and Yana Dixon, but that was Matchroom. There was another top-ranked card that what the headline were women. I can't remember. I don't know. But yeah, I'm pretty confident that Top Rank or Matchroom would have made them the headline. We catching Pro Box on the 7th. Who's on Pro Box on the 7th? Dang, there's a Pro Box fight on the 7th as well? Oh, shoot, I forgot to bring up y'all got to remind me. Please help remind me to put the chat up there, man. I'd be forgetting to put the chat up there, man. Please remind me. Just kidding. Nobody wants to watch that shit. Yo, this man Oscar crazy. I watch the fights, but I don't watch their shows anymore. They're like their videos because they're too ridiculous, man. Like I said, I still got love for Chris Algieri. I think he's the best one on Pro Box. Well, no, Sean Porter. I think Sean Porter and Chris Algieri are tied between those two, but I would lean towards Sean Porter a little more. But Chris Algieri is definitely up there. But Chris Algieri, I've seen him. He's even starting to get tarnished by the BS that they be trying to kick over there, man. So they're always pro Top Rank and pro Golden Boy. You know, they be saying lies, and I just can't. Yeah, when you know better, you should do better. And then because I know better and I hear them, it's like, I don't know. It like hurts my ears. It's cringy. Shout out to Teddy Atlas too, though. No, Teddy Atlas is my favorite. Teddy Atlas is my favorite, and then Sean Porter, and then Chris Algieri. It better not be freaky ass JoJo. Who are they? I don't know who's on it. JoJo D is not. JoJo D is just fought. If he's back on there that quickly, that'd be crazy. JoJo D has just fought and lost. Ain't no way he's back on there already. Who JoJo D is? JoJo D has just fought. Because remember, Axeman got replaced and JoJo D has lost. He lost to Abraham Montoya. Yeah. He lost to Abraham Montoya on the 9th. He just lost on the 9th, man, a couple weeks ago. So yeah, it definitely won't be him. That'd be crazy if he went back and fought again. He on that old thing. But yeah, chat, I'm about to go ahead and call it, man. Appreciate y'all rocking as always, man. If you enjoy the channel, don't forget to smack that like button, you know, as usual. You know what I'm saying? Hold it down for your boy. Hit that bell, turn on notifications as well. Join the Boxing Talk family, man. You know, we have open dialogue here. We talk about things. You know how we get it, man. We get it. Shout out to Antonio Tarver, man, fellow Floridian. You know what I'm saying? He keep it 100. Yeah, shout out to Antonio Tarver, man, the magic man. But yeah, man, so I appreciate y'all rocking. If you enjoy the boxing content, man, the daily content, don't forget to consider becoming a member, starting at $3 a month. You know what I'm saying? Really helps us keep going and growing and keep the lights on. Also consider hitting that Cash App that's floating or rotating at the bottom of your screen, revolving in like spinners in the 99s and 2000s. You know what I'm saying? That Cash App. Or drop it to super chat, man. Drop it that graffiti on the chat walls, man. I appreciate it. Oh yeah, good. Should have knocked his goofy ass out. That's crazy. Tarver be hating. Let me find out you like all haters. Bro, man's be liking haters, bro. I'm telling you, man's a hater, low key, for real. I'm gonna be honest, man. Like, I feel like if you don't like certain fighters, that's cool. Everybody likes what they like and they don't like what they don't like. But when you're super critical on certain fighters that did certain things, and you like other fighters that I could literally point to them doing less or the same, you a hater, bro. Man's is a hater, bro. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all rocking, man. Y'all be easy. Take care of yourselves. And remember, most importantly, with God, we can do anything. Without God, we're nothing. The doctor's out. Peace. Catch y'all on the flip side for the late show at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good Lord willing. The doctor's out.
From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold, we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.